Welcome to First Time Watching. Let's take a peek into the movie that traumatized millions during their childhood. Megan is Missing isn't so much scary as it is difficult to watch. The real horror comes from the fact that it could happen to anyone. The movie doesn't pull any punches when it comes to realism. And of course, I'm also going to talk about the criticism and questionable choices that casts a rather predatory light on its director, Michael Goey. But first, sit back and relax while I'll hold your hand as I do a quick movie recap. Amy and Megan are filming themselves. They are 14 years old when Megan disappeared, and 3 weeks later, her best friend Amy also vanished. We kick off on January 2nd, 2007. The girls are sitting in a diner, complaining about school, when Amy says she wants to start wearing makeup too. Megan shuts her down by saying that virgins don't wear makeup, which hurts Amy's feelings. But then Megan gaslights her into thinking she shouldn't be such a bitch and open up her legs already. 2 days later, Megan is video calling her friend Angie. They're talking about scoring drugs by sucking a dude's meat, reminding you again, these girls are 14. Angie has someone with her, and together they overhear Megan's mom yelling at her. They think it's all funny and laugh at Megan for arguing with her mom. Meanwhile, Amy also tries calling Megan, so Megan puts Angie on hold. Amy wants to meet up, but Megan lies and says she has to spend time with her mom, all so she can actually go to Angie's house to do drugs and have a threesome with her and Angie's boyfriend. January 5th, Amy is doing her makeup when her dad walks into the room. It's almost her birthday. She'll be 14 soon. She has a loving family, but her self-confidence is very low. She thinks she's fat, which is clearly utter bullshit. Meanwhile, Megan and her more provocative friends call Ben about his party next weekend. Megan asks if she can bring Amy, but they're not thrilled about the idea of the little church girl tagging along. Ben tells Megan she owes him for letting Amy come to his party, so Megan fires back that he'd better take a freaking bath before the party. January 6th, the night of the party. Ben stands at the door, charging $10 for entry. Okay, I'm going to interrupt the movie for a moment. Maybe I grew up in a different world, because nobody I knew was sleeping around this much at 14 or constantly doing drugs. It might also be because I'm from the Netherlands, where many drugs are legal and therefore less exciting. But still, let's take a look at this outrageous party, supposedly hosted by a bunch of 14-year-olds inside some type of crack house. The girls are all dancing except for Amy, who's standing awkwardly in the corner. Once the girls are sufficiently drunk and high, Ben shows up to collect. Megan leaves Amy with her other friends and follows him. Amy hates this party. Some guy tries to force himself on her, and when she tells him no, he slaps her across the face. All the other girls just laugh and make fun of her for turning him down. Amy goes looking for Megan and finds her in the middle of giving Ben the Gluck Gluck 9000. Megan shoves Amy out of the room, but when Amy opens the door again, she sees Ben yanking Megan back by the hair. He tells Amy to close the door. The next day, Megan and Amy video chat. Amy is feeling insecure because she threw up all over Megan's friends, but Megan tells her not to worry, they're all losers anyway. Amy spirals, saying she's always going to mess everything up and that she won't even be good at giving blowjobs. Megan tells her she should practice on a banana or something. Amy asks if that's how Megan learned, but Megan says no, she learned at summer camp when she was 10 years old. Then Megan goes into a very graphic story about a 17-year-old who forced her into it at that age. It's way too graphic to repeat here, and I'll talk about it more after the recap. At the end of the story, Megan's mom interrupts, but she calms down once she realizes Megan is talking to Amy. She tells the girls it's late and they should go to sleep. Megan is clearly embarrassed and starts talking about running away from home. Amy tells her that if she leaves, she's coming with her because they're best friends. January 10th, the day of Amy's birthday. Amy gets a video camera as a present, and after Megan makes an inappropriate comment about Amy's dad, Amy decides to interview her. Megan acts like she has a great life, but when she gets to the part about her father who left and her stepdad who is now in prison for abusing her for over 2 years, starting when she was 9, the tone completely shifts. Her mom was so afraid of losing him that she never listened to Megan when she tried to tell her what was happening, and she was even angry when he was finally sent to prison. Guys take advantage of her, and her self-esteem is so low that she'll let them do almost anything as long as they tell her they love her. Amy hugs her friend, saying all of that couldn't have been easy. January 13th, one of Megan's friends, Lex, invites her to another party, but Megan turns her down. So Lex tells her about a new guy she met, Josh, the skater dude. He supposedly doesn't have a webcam right now because his little brother destroyed it. Later that day, Megan chats it up with Josh. After about a minute of talking, he already asks her to angle her camera down so he can see her body. She brings up his broken camera, and he tells her his dog chewed on it, which confuses her a little because Lex told her that he told Lex that he said his little brother broke it, and he shrugs it off with a very smooth, "Yeah, him too." He asks if she's coming to the party that night, but she says she's not sure yet. They flirt a bit, and he invites her again. This time, she's convinced, so on her way there, she calls Amy to let her know she's going. January 14th, early in the morning, Amy calls Megan. She's hungover and furious because Josh never showed up to the party he invited her to. Later that day, Megan calls Josh again to tell him he's an ass for not showing up. He insists he was there. She doesn't believe him, but he knows exactly what she was wearing, so he must have been watching her. He tells her she looks so good that he got shy and chickened out. She accepts the apology and gives him another chance. He asks if she wants to spend time with him later, maybe get some ice cream. When she suggests meeting at the movie theater after she and Amy finish watching their movie, he gets awkward, but his whole shy act makes her trust him more and makes her willing to meet him alone. So Megan calls Amy and tells her about Josh. After the movie, Megan decides to take Amy home and introduce her to him. Josh tells Amy that she looks familiar. They ask how, since he goes to a different school, but he explains that he skips school a lot and hangs around their school because the girls there are hotter. Then Megan sends Amy home so she can spend some time alone with Josh. He asks her to meet him behind the diner in 20 minutes. She teases him about his romantic choice of location, but tells him she trusts him, to which he responds that she should. He would never hurt her, and that's the last time anyone sees Megan. January 15th, Amy calls Megan's friends to check if they've seen her, but nobody has. Later that day, Amy contacts Josh to ask if he's seen Megan. He tells her that she never showed up for their planned meeting the night before. Amy asks him to contact her immediately if he hears anything. January 17th, Megan is officially reported missing. Everyone speaks highly of her and is clearly distraught over her disappearance. Even if all of this is Lex's fault, that booger face introduced Megan to Josh. January 18th, Amy doesn't believe Megan ran away from home. She's very worried and hopes Megan might call so she can do something. January 19th, security camera footage has been found capturing live footage of Megan's abduction. A strange man appeared behind the diner and grabbed her. In the footage, we see Megan walking. Then a man, clearly not Josh, approaches her, grabs her wrist, and pulls her out of view. January 20th, Amy contacts Josh again and asks if it was him in the video. He tells her no, that it was some old dude. He speculates that maybe Megan skipped town with the guy, since she was kind of flaky. Amy doesn't believe that because Megan would have told her. Realizing he's caught in a lie, Josh changes tactics. He tells Amy that he finds it strange. Megan would be her friend because they are so different. Megan is hot and Amy is a ugly little piggy. Amy insists that she thinks he knows exactly where Megan is, but he ignores her and goes straight back to insulting her, claiming Megan told him Amy just followed her around like a little puppy. Amy asks him what he did to Megan, and he replies that he did nothing she hadn't already done with 100 other guys before. January 29th, Amy finally breaks through with the police, and they begin to believe that Josh might be the kidnapper. January 31st, Amy is searching for Megan around town and runs into her terrible friends, but they are just being cruel to Amy. They blame her for Megan's disappearance, though their real motive is jealousy. Amy spent the most time with Megan. She visits all the places Megan and she used to hang out, spending a lot of time under a bridge together. Amy talks to the camera about her connection to Megan, while a man appears in the background, standing silently, as if watching her, waiting. February 1st, Josh contacts Amy, angry because she told the police he kidnapped Megan. He warns her to stay quiet, telling her that if she keeps talking, he will pay her a visit, and that he is already watching her. February 2nd, the police are wasting precious time and resources on a poorly executed reenactment of the abduction. March 4th, 2007, 2 photos of Megan are posted on a fetish website. The owner of the site contacts the FBI, as the images are too disturbing to handle. I will not show these pictures, as they are deeply traumatizing, but they depict Megan in her underwear with her head through a hole in a table, metal thongs forcing her mouth open as wide as possible, and a hook in her nose pulling her face back. February 4th, 2007, Amy is back under the bridge. It has been 3 weeks since Megan was abducted, and people are starting to give up. Many begin to believe she is dead, and that's when a hand grabs Amy. The police suspect it might be the same kidnapper. On March 12th, authorities search the area under the bridge and find Amy's camera in a trash container. On it, they discover footage of the man believed to be Josh, first seen in the background at the bridge. Now, we reach the truly disturbing part of the story. The following footage represents the final 22 minutes recorded and unedited on Amy's camera. For moral reasons, I will not not show the footage. I will describe what happens, but I do not think people should watch it. Amy is screaming for help. She is locked in an underground dungeon, shackled to a wall in her underwear. The man asks her if Megan is there. He tells her she is, and that he will let them go as long as Amy behaves herself. She continues begging and screaming for help, so her captor throws a bucket of cold water over her and tells her that his name is not Josh. After some time, Amy finally stops screaming. The man goes to her and gives her a bowl of food. He tells her she should eat if she wants to stay healthy. He also says that if she eats, she can have her teddy bear, and forces her to eat without using her hands like a dog. Then he sets the camera down on the table where he previously locked Megan and brings Amy into the room. She begs him to go home, but instead he bends her over the table and assaults her. This scene is highly disturbing. You cannot see the act itself, only Amy's face. She slowly loses herself, and the fight leaves her eyes as she goes numb. The scene lasts about 2.5 minutes and is extremely hard to watch. Sometime later, he returns to her cell, and she appears to have given up on life. He unshackles her and tells her not to be afraid. He asks if she wants to go home, giving her a sliver of hope, and walks with her to a big blue barrel. He tells her to get into the barrel because he doesn't want her to see where he lives. When he opens the barrel, Megan's rotting corpse is inside. Amy starts running and screaming, but the man grabs her and shoves her into the barrel with her dead friend. From this point, the film shows only the kidnapper with the barrel. Amy hits the sides and screams for help. Meanwhile, Josh is seen digging a hole somewhere in the forest. Amy continues crying and begging for her life, trying everything, telling him she loves him and that they could run away together if he just lets her out. This goes on for about 7 minutes until the hole is deep enough. He then pushes the barrel into the hole while she begs him to spare her. He starts shoveling sand onto the barrel, burying her alive. The screams gradually become muffled as the sand covers the barrel until all sound finally disappears. Michael Gough has been praised for his work throughout his long career, from directing the highly popular show The Rookie to writing over 50 episodes of American Horror Story. But Megan is Missing is the odd one out. It was marketed as a cautionary tale for teenagers about the dangers of chatting with people online, but that wasn't the reason the movie caught mass attention. It's the excruciatingly long, horrible scenes of underage girls performing acts on older guys that almost feel as if he is fetishizing the acts that caught most attention. For most people, the scene with the barrel, or the moment when Amy slowly loses the light in her eyes, are the things they just can't get out of their heads. But for me, it's the pictures of Megan in the torture gear that I can't seem to shake, especially knowing that this movie was filmed in 2006. The actress who plays Amy was born in 1989, meaning she was 17 while filming these horrible scenes. Even worse, the girl who plays Megan was born in 1991, so she was only 15 going on 16 during production. It is insane to think about the fact that Gough was filming underage girls and putting them in these highly traumatizing situations. And then the last thing that's very strange about the stories behind this movie. I told you earlier I would circle back to the extended blowjob story, which Megan apparently did at 10 years old. While filming this movie, Gough interviewed a number of young girls to gain inspiration for his characters and stumbled upon a girl that was the victim of this horrible camp act. She told him about the 17-year-old camp leader that forced himself upon her, and Gough just casually used that story and tried to make a joke out of it. It's just disgusting and hard to accept that this was acceptable to be released. And now, for my opinion, from a cinematographic point of view, there are millions of better movies. The acting is below par, and for someone as praised as Michael Gough, the bar should have been higher. If I look at Megan is Missing strictly as a cautionary tale about the dangers of meeting people online, then based on how many people were traumatized by this movie, I'd say it worked. But that's looking at it from the outside. Now, for me, personally, how do I explain this as someone who watches horror movies for fun? I like it when a movie actually manages to scare me. I enjoy a creative kill because usually they're not realistic, but the type of violence used in this movie is not something I like to watch. And I still can't get over the fact that the girls were underage while filming. Megan is Missing scores 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it might sound weird, but I agree. I do believe people could watch this movie to be confronted with the real dangers of the world, because sadly, what is shown in this movie actually happens to many girls every year around the world. It pains me to say it, but sometimes the world needs Megan is Missing to be reminded of this. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you hate Lex, and I'll see you next time.